let's make welcome our guests, Mr. Ezekiel Idemi and Mrs. Bukola Idemi. It's a pleasure having you here.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having
Thank you so much for having
us.
us.
It's an honor to be here.
Yeah.
So, can you please share a bit about yourself and how you met?
I'm Ezekiel Idemi. I am husband to beautiful Bukola here. Myself, graphic designer. That's what I do. How did we meet? So we met in the choir. We were serving in the choir together. We serve on the praise team together. So that's how we met. And most times during Thanksgiving service, we sit. I think
almost close to each other.
Almost close to each other. Yeah. So we sit almost close to each other. So maybe in front or second row. So we sit, and we never really got talking pretty deep, but I think because we sit close to each other, we just started talking and just general conversations basically. So that's how we met.
My name is Bukola Idemi. I'm an architect, but specialize in interior architecture. So I'm an interior architect, and my husband just said how we met. That's like the general. So I guess your question might take us into maybe more, because if we really want to say, let's share how we really met, like it's quite a long story, kind of.
Yeah.
The next question is like this: how important was spiritual compatibility to you when choosing a partner?
Spiritual compatibility is like the bedrock. Like the way scripture says, it's like, can two work together except they agree? And spiritually is one of the ways you have to be able to agree with your spouse. Imagine you're having things to deal with, and you can't hold hands to pray. You can't agree on a matter. Like, it's no. So spiritual compatibility is very, very important. Like, you guys have to be on the same page. You might not believe 100% the same thing, but in major things about spirituality, you must be able to agree. Imagine someone marrying maybe the guy does not believe in speaking in tongues, the woman believes in speaking in tongues. Number one, there are some issues, there's some underlying issues at the moment with that. When they really need to agree on something, the two of them can't really come together and agree that, okay, this is what we want. And spiritually, honestly, that is actually what builds a home. The spiritual aspect. Marriage is is three ways. It's between the husband, the wife, and God. So, and everyone must be able to relate, like the two parties involved must be able to relate to God.
When we talk about spiritual compatibility, that's one of the first things that everybody should consider. You shouldn't even debate about it. You shouldn't even so there's spiritual compatibility up there, then there's physical compatibility, then maybe there's or maybe mental compatibility, then there's physical compatibility. You get, so the spiritual compatibility, you should ask questions like, okay, is this person a born again? That's the first question you should find out. Is this person really born again? Not that you are a churchgoer. You are not just a churchgoer. How do you know that this person is born again? It's not something you have to pray about. You ask questions. Definitely in your conversations, okay, who is Jesus Christ to you? Who do you say Jesus Christ is? Like Jesus was asking, who is Jesus Christ to you? Okay, what is Christmas? What does Christmas mean to you? Imagine you're asking somebody, what does Christmas, maybe Christmas just passed, and I say, what does Christmas mean to you? Christmas is an holiday time where we buy gifts, we eat rice, and we go and that's an orange flag. Not totally red.
All right.
Yes, or maybe yellow flag. I think in America, policemen use yellow, so do not cross. Yeah. So I'm getting so you should just ask, what is Christmas to you? What is Easter? Those simple questions. The mental, spiritual orientation of that person. what is speaking in tongues? Those kind of questions are necessary. So spiritual compatibility is first on the list. And I will say that if you also are not really grounded, right, in your spiritual journey, if you are not established in your spiritual walk with God, I do not think you should want to start a family or be in a relationship that is leading to marriage, or even be in a relationship at all, because you have to set the precedence. Maybe as the man, you have to set the precedence. You have to know how will I put it? You yourself have to be strong before you want to bring somebody in. You get, so the person has the tendency to either water down your spiritual life, or fire it up. So that should be your first priority. Spiritual, is this person compatible spiritually? Do we believe the same things about our faith? You don't necessarily need to know the same things about your faith, but you need to believe the same. Does she believe Jesus Christ is the Son of God that came and died for everybody? Not only died, he resurrected and is at the right hand of God, and we are like him in this world, So there are some certain basics that needs to be settled spiritually.
Yeah. Did you both feel God's leading in your relationship from the beginning, or was it something you grew into?
All right.
No, you go first.
Oh, I should go first. Okay. Yes. How do I mean? So I remember one time I was not even thinking about marriage or relationship. I had just gotten out of breakup. I think a year after I got out of breakup, I needed to heal. Then I think I healed. I met with Mommy Obu. That's one of our marriage counselors. I was not intending to go into any relationship. I just wanted to talk to her about everything and just have someone I talk to about relationships. So I remember meeting with her. She spoke to me. So that year I knew I had healed up, and I was just open to maybe work, relationship, female friends, nothing serious, just be my friend. I don't want any relationship for that year. So I remember I had worked like 2 weeks back to back, and I didn't have time for study. I didn't have time for prayers. And that afternoon I was just at home. I was just like, let me study. I just felt guilty that I didn't study in a while because of work. So I went to the Bible, right? And I was studying the book of Solomon, Songs of Solomon. And I made sure I finished that book that day. And I was just reading. And honestly, it happens that when I'm reading, sometimes it looks as though the word is jumping out from the pages of the book at me. So I was reading Songs of Solomon, where the Shulamite was praising the beloved, right? And as the Shulamite was praising the beloved, it was as if somebody, I had a feeling somebody was praying that prayer, was talking about me that way. I was like, So I had to pause, like, waiting they occur, But since that day, I sensed that God was drawing my attention to begin to pray in that area and to begin to study in that area, or to begin to look in that area of marriage. So I began to just pay more attention to marriage, relationships, and I didn't have anybody in mind, honestly. It was like a year after that I sensed that it was Bukola. And how did I sense it was Bukola? So I had a funny dream that I was going to rehearsals, and as I was about to enter the church compound, she was the one there, and she was smiling at me. Then I was like, waiting up, just somebody that agrees. But yeah, it's fine, it's normal. Then I just waved that off. Then I had another dream, sometime maybe a month or 2 months later. So I remember that I had like a ministration. We had like a ministration in a school, and I looked to my left. I saw Bukola also smiling.
Smiling lady.
Smiling. I was like, this is funny. This is fishy. So yeah, and I don't take dreams for it, except I confirm in the word. I must have a strong rooting in the word. So I started to just pray and just pray to God and ask God how far what's the deal with Sister Bukola, and God through the word, He gave me some things to look out for, and I investigated, and I found out that this this stuff matches this lady. I asked her questions. I didn't tell her anything. I was just asking random questions. How's your family? Are you from a royal family? Those are the things you all gave me while studying again. Like, are you from a royal family? How many siblings do you have? It got so vivid to the point that there was a lady I really liked very much, and I even asked her out. I knew she was not ticking those boxes that God was already laying down. But because I liked her, she was somebody very social. Me, I'm not very social. I'm very gentle. So in my own mind, I was like, okay, a social person cannot meet a social person. An introvert must always be joined to an extrovert. And from what I know about Bukola, she's like me, spiritual, very spiritual, and she's an introvert. So I was like, no. I need social life in my life. So I need somebody that is outgoing. I need somebody that, so I calculated, even when I knew that this is what God was saying. Let's not do that, by the way. So funnily, after talking to the person was in somewhere 7. And after talking to the person, I knew that, this lady would definitely say yes when we see physically. We just lost contact. We stopped talking for a while. And in those few months, God now told me and drew my attention back to the lady that is calling my attention to that. This is the person, say, but it was still my choice to follow through and away. So God led me every step of the way, even to the point of asking her out, even to the point of after getting married. It was just God's leading all the way. Then I had a bunch of counselors too and people that I talked to about it.
Did you face some challenges due to difference in age, maturity, or life stages? How did you overcome this?
Okay, yeah. So navigating from relationship to marriage, definitely, you guys are from different backgrounds. You didn't grow up together, and there are some differences. In our own case, we also had the age gap difference. The main thing is communication. You guys really need to communicate, talk about things. There can even be financial differences, a whole lot of differences, everything. One thing that that cannot be overemphasized in a relationship, that you really want to go into marriage. You don't want to get into marriage and then you are now surprised. So that's where communication comes in. You must be able to speak. Before we got married, we addressed the issue of our age difference. There were a lot of things we talked about. How do you want to handle our finance? So the relationship time or the courtship time is not just the time for vibes and inshallah, like they say, or just for vibes. Let's just go out, let's just eat, let's just, it's serious time. It's serious time because you don't want to get in. Then you're now facing the reality of things. You must really be able to ask questions. When you're hungry, what happens? When you are broke, you've not seen the guy being broke before, or maybe he's in need of something, or the way he treats people, or the way he treats others around. So you really must just be able to ask questions. That's what I would just sum up everything in a precise way. You guys must be able to sit down and have meaningful conversation, not just talks on even to how many children do you want to have. So talk. That's what I would just say. Talk. If you discover any issue, try as much as possible to talk about it before you enter into marriage. There are some things that, of course, it's not as if you will be able to speak on 100% of everything, but at least the major ones you would have addressed it. Imagine we didn't talk about our age difference before we got married, and I got married to him. Then we are now realizing that she's older, blah 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 blah. That would be another story entirely. So it's just good to just be able to communicate about some certain and cogent issues before you proceed into a marriage.
Were there times you felt discouraged or unsure about your relationship, and how did your faith keep you together?
Were there times I got confused? Maybe a little, so maybe 1 or 2 times. And that's at the beginning part of it, because every marriage has his own how will I put it, his own path or toll to go through. And the way I really went through it, talking from my own end, is that's why when people say have an anchor for your union, don't just go into marriage because I love his face, I like her face, I like her shape, I like his height, I like his darts. Like, you must be able to have like strong confirmations, convictions from God himself that this is it for you. So even when challenges come, or when, you know, doubts come, or when, you know, whatever it is come, there is a strong anchor. Let me just use a sheep to just illustrate that. You know, when you have a sheep sometimes can maybe want to go off course if it does not have an anchor, but because it's anchored to the ground, it cannot drift. That's where God comes in. That's where the word of God comes in. You must be able to have like conviction. So the convictions I had were stronger than whatever circumstances or whatever situation that was going on at that particular time. And I think what even caused what will I say caused even the doubt at that time? Maybe it was finance. I'm like, God, are you sure? Like, are you sure this is the person? Will he really be able to take care of me? And, you know, things like that. But going back to the word that God gave, that I'm in this, like, to everyone for your union, the truth is you might not even have a Bible passage, but have a strong conviction that this is what God is saying, that you can go back to God, that God, this is what you told me, this is your word on this union. Like, I didn't just enter it. Like, before my husband came, I was in a relationship that lasted for 4 years. We've already done our introduction.
Wow.
And the guy served me hot breakfast. You know, served me hot breakfast. Served me hot breakfast. But before I entered the relationship, I prayed, I asked God, and I got convictions about the relationship. So when everything happened, I went back to God, because the guy has been asking me out for almost 3 years before I gave him an answer. Like, God, I didn't just give this guy an answer. Like, I waited on your word before I proceeded in this relationship. So how come it's now ending in a breakup? Like, and it was then God now told me, because to me I felt like, God, this is a waste of 4 years of my life. I was already getting to 29 at that point. That this is 4 years wasted in my life. And when everything happened, God told me it was not a waste. If I was not with that guy in those 4 years, definitely, because I had other people that were coming my way, but because I was already engaged to someone, I always tell all of them no. God was like, if the guy was not there for that 4 years, you would have seen somebody else that you guys might have gotten married together. It was just like the 4 years relationship was want to hold me down before he comes. So that's why I said, when God gives the word, then you cannot go back to God. God, you said this, you said that, and He will give you reasons. He will show you things that, okay, this is it, my daughter. I'm there regardless.
Okay. As intending purpose, did you discuss marriage, childbirth, and financial aspects of the family, and how did this help in your marriage?
Okay, yes, we discussed everything. I remember our first date.
More of a question and answer.
Yes, our first date was more of an interview. I remember we went to Muri, that park in Ikeja, and we were asking ourselves a lot of questions. A lot. Like, how much do you earn? Let me just say that. I was earning 20k at that time.
Very important.
I was earning 20k per month at that time, and my wife was earning 140k.
Yeah.
Per month. So you can imagine. Yeah, so we talked about it, like we laid it bare. We went to our families, your mom, we went deep. We talked about everything, the basics, everything. Your aspirations, what are your goals, what are your dreams, what do you see yourself in the next 5 years? A lot. Let me tell you, if you are in a relationship and you are not asking uncomfortable questions, you are probably not in a relationship.
Yeah.
It's like, have you eaten?
No, I was saying that those ones are.
If you are not asking uncomfortable questions, uncomfortable but honest questions, you are not yet in a relationship. You are not yet serious about what you want to get into. Yeah, it's just emotions.
what a lot of persons do right now is like they kind of shy away from that aspect of that financial aspect. Most especially when some persons now say, okay, she earn more than me. They don't want to feel inferior to the lady, so they need to now, keep, living the fake life. Now, when you now enter into the marriage, then everything now becomes open. By that time, you now start looking for counseling and likes of that.
Yeah, let me
not really proper.
Yeah, let me touch on that. See, no matter what you are earning,
Okay, thank you.
just be faithful. Just be faithful. Plan, budget, all those things. Be faithful. Like, be prudent. Let me put it that way. Be prudent. See, the Bible is never, God is never a liar. Right? He's never a liar. He said, he that is faithful in little, much will be committed into your hand. So it's even as though that little that you are even having is not even your own. It's just God is giving you a portion to just take care of. Let me see how you do this. Then more will be given to you. More will be given to you. So it's just being faithful, and with time, once you're hardworking, you have a vision, you have a supportive partner. It's with time. Yeah.
I don't even want me to say a little on
Thank
that. As at that time, as a woman that was earning more than him, to some ladies, at that time, I'll be like, hey, I'm earning 140, like I'm earning 7 times what you are earning. How can you take care of me? How can you? That was when I said, I was like, God, how can this guy take care of me and things like that? Like, these days it might seem like very vague that really, like, it's not possible. He has to be any more than me. He has to be able to take care of me and everything like that. Okay, so why would I proceed with someone that, okay, financially I'm even more stable than him? One thing I looked at does this guy have vision? Like, is he responsible? Yes. Like, the trajectory matters more than where he is at the moment, and that's what a lot of ladies miss in some men. When you already have this standard in your head that this is how it must be, this is what it must look like. If you look at even all these fathers of faith, look at Bishop Oyedepo, look at even David Adeoye, they did not start the way they are. Most of them started small and they grew to be big. So if you are just looking at just the financial capability of this person before you proceed, sometimes you might miss the big thing in that person. Exactly. Imagine the person that told Bishop Oyedepo at that time. Now she'll be looking at him that, oh my God, I've missed a big person. So it's yes, I've missed a big person. You just have to be discerning, and it's not every guy that is not financially stable that you can say yes to. Let me just use that as a balance. Like I said, the person must be a visionary person. He must have a plan for his life. Not someone that is just sitting at home and expecting food to come to his table. You must be able to see in this person that this guy also, even though he's not earning as much as I would want him to earn now, but he's making a move towards his life. He's not stagnant. He's not just thinking. He's not just sitting down that, okay, food will come to my table, or he's expecting families and friends, to come support him and all like that. So you just have to really be able to study this person, and that's where conversations and honest questions come in. Exactly. You must be able to probe into the person. Yeah. Okay, yeah, you're earning 20K. What's the plan? Yeah. Like, what's your future plan? Like, where do you see yourself in this business that you are doing? How do you see growth from it?
What role did your mentors or spiritual leaders play in guiding your relationship?
Scripture says, in the multitude of counsel there is safety. Yeah. You have to be able to have people that not monitor your relationship, but people that you can submit your relationship to, people that you can talk to about your relationship. When we wanted to get married and we had apartment issues, we had people that we went to speak to, that by the time they gave us words of advice, we saw that, okay, what we were thinking was a mountain was not really as big as we thought it to be. Yeah. Because the reason why most time you have mentors is, most time these people, they've been through, or they've experienced, or they've seen someone that have gone through what you are trying to go through. Yeah. And there's nothing you are going through that is new under the sun. There's someone that might have gone through that and came out victorious and came out better. So by the time you now have mentors, and not just mentors, even friends. We had friends. He spoke to most of his friends about me. I spoke to most of my friends that knew him about, about him coming to to ask my hand in marriage. So it's not just spiritual mentors and all, even friends, people around you, people in your why you smiling, in your age range also can also help. When you are going out with a person that 100% of your friends, they are saying no, then it means they are saying something, and you are just like, no, we are in love, and everybody around you, they are saying, this person. But because you are blinded by love, which will soon remove from
blind.
your face. Love is not blind. Love is not blind. By the time you enter into the love, you discover that it was not blind. It just seemed as if it was blind from the beginning. It wasn't blind at all. So having friends around you that you can also talk to. Your relationship should not be in isolation. When your relationship is getting to a point where it's isolated, you should know that there's a problem. Either the guy is hiding something or the lady is hiding something. I'm not saying announce your relationship to the whole world, but have people that you're accountable with. Have people that you are accountable with on the relationship, even in marriage. Because honestly, things will pop up in marriage. We've had our times that things popped up that we really had to go and see our mentor and talk about things. Do you understand? So that's to say that it's a communal thing. let me just put it that way, like a little bit communal, even though it's just the two of you, but you have to be able to relate to others also, to make sure that you keep the fire burning and the love is always there.
And yesterday in church, Papa was making a reference about a particular pastor who, what he does is just to break people's relationship and marriage. In some aspects, some places are really very skeptical to discuss their relationship and marriages with some spiritual father. Because when they now discuss that with them, maybe stay in the next Sunday, that's what you're hearing on the pulpit and likes of that. Some don't really, I don't know if you can really say something about that aspect, Mr. Ezekiel.
Okay. So I told you that I had left a relationship that's broke, and I had to go and meet Mommy Obu, the Obus, to talk about it. And the reason I did that was not because they were the first person I saw to talk to them about it. I think I just joined Royalty in 2016 November. So 2016, 2017, 2016 November, December, January, I had seen them. I was in church Sundays, Wednesdays. So they had spoken about relationships. They've had discussions about relationship publicly, and I could tell, or I could see that these people they are always together. Mommy Obu and Adebu always together playing. So I discovered that these are the people that I need to talk to about this. So it was not because they are. I think I even talked to them before I met Papa about anything. So it's not about the man. It's just about what you are able to see in them, that what their life resonates with mine. You understand? What they are going through resonates. Like, this is what I love to have. Let me talk to them about it. Let's see. You don't have to be married, because I was not even ready for marriage. I just needed sanity in that area of my life. Like, I just needed some questions answered. That's why I went to meet them. I was not prepared for any relationship. In short, I didn't get into any relationship until 2 years after I met them. So I just needed sanity in that area. Then I went to meet them. Like, this is the right person I need to meet at this stage of my life for this. And God led me to them, and anytime before I even go to meet them, I pray, Father, give me the answer of peace, put the right words in their mouth for me, because probably they will be speaking out of the goodness of their heart, but they will not be speaking what God wants for you at that moment. They will be speaking because they love you, whereas maybe God wants you to go through a difficult season, and they are speaking, So before I go to meet them, I will just pray that, Father, in the name of Jesus, I'm going to meet the Obus today. Lord, put the right words for me in their mouth. Give me an answer of peace. So that's what I do. Then any advice I receive, I also put it with God, like, oh God, oh, this is what should I do? They have given me the advice. Okay, so how do I go about it? I still present it to God that, okay, God, does this resonate with what you are telling me? Is it, and most of the time, because I had prayed before, and God is even telling me something, so what they are saying will just resonate with what I needed to do. Yeah.
How did you ensure your relationship glorified God during courtship, and were there boundaries set?
Yeah. There was boundary set. Relationship is very dynamic. Because this is the person you love, obviously.
You'll be emotions.
Yes, you'll be getting closer and closer, and you have to put boundaries to it. I think one of the things we did was talk to our friend about it. Because these people, they're not emotionally involved as you. So definitely they'll see what you are not saying. Yeah, so we talked to them about it. Who did you talk to?
Did I talk to anyone? I think I didn't really talk to anyone.
I think your mom.
Yeah. But I think we just had boundary, even though sometimes we cross the boundary. Because what we told ourselves was we're not going to have sex before we got married.
Yeah.
Yes. Before we got married, I would say we kissed. So this session is to liberate a whole lot of people.
Yeah.
Do you understand? So I would say, we kissed, but when we will just remember that, babe, what's the end product of this?
Yeah.
Is going to break what we said, what the agreement we had with God, that we're not going to have sex before we got married. And even when anything like that happens, maybe when that episode, and most times is when you are alone.
Yeah.
So one thing we try to do is we limit our alone time.
Always.
So we always meet in public.
Always.
Because we discover that anytime we get maybe a little bit mushy with each other is when we are alone. So we just told ourselves that, see, this thing is not going to work for us. I love you, you love me. We are both emotionally attached in this union. And even when it happens, we talk to friends that will also give advice that you guys take a chill pill.
Be serious.
Take a chill pill about this. You still have a
whole lifetime
ahead of you. So don't disrupt what God is doing just by 5 minutes pleasure and all. So that from the beginning, that first meeting we talked about, it was part of the things we talked about. We talked about sex.
Yes.
We talked about sex. We talked about how we want to keep ourselves, like not get involved in sex before marriage.
Yeah.
So even though we wear a little bit sometimes, we bring ourselves back online.
What's that one funny thing or unforgettable moments that shape things or that kind of shape your relationship?
So there are moments. There are a lot.
A lot of moments.
We've not had is this one thing and it was 5 years ago. Today we had this morning we had something that shapes our relationship. We have memories. Like, let me start from when I was praying. I remember there was a time that when I asked her out and I was praying that, God, this is when I want her to accept the proposal. It happened that God had, and that's when she accepted. That particular day, I think a day before my birthday, that's when she accepted. That was an unforgettable moment. Our proposals.
Birthday gift.
She was expecting a wonderful proposal, and back she didn't tell me about it, but honestly, it happened. Is it the birth of our son? Is it the trusting God for a house?
Yeah.
There are a lot of unforgettable moments, or a lot. Even this morning, we had one. We had one that we will not forget.
Yeah.
And it was just God. So it's a journey we enjoy it every time. It's continual. It doesn't have to be end. We're looking for more unforgettable moments in future too. So it's a daily thing basically.
Like you said. So I think one of the unforgettable things, most of it is just having a partner that, because our journey is really a journey of faith.
Yeah.
Our journey has really been a journey of faith, and one that God himself really laid out, that even when things happen, at the end of the day we'll be like, wow, it all ended in praise. So there are a lot of wow moments in our union. A lot of wow moments. Is it from moving from a 1-bedroom apartment to from a self-contained apartment? We got married and we moved into a we were staying in a self-contained, which was even my own house at that time, to get into a 1-bedroom apartment to a 3-bed. So it's progressive. It's just like every moment with ourselves, it's seeing God doing things, seeing God do things that we pray about, and we see the results. So there are quite a whole lot of moments, honestly. Yeah.
How do you navigate disagreements or conflicts in a way that honor God and each other? So how do you settle conflicts in the family? How do you navigate disagreements in the family as a couple, as husband and wife?
Okay, let me go.
Anybody can go for it.
Yes. Actually, I grew up in a home where there's a lot of shouting, not so pleasant, and I and my brother were just two. On getting wiser, like on growing and being more mature, we decided, we just had the choice to make that. See, our own is going to be different, So we observe the loopholes, definitely, and learn from it. Like my wife, I'm not going to say anything. I will never say anything that would, like, an abusive word. I've never said it. I will never say it, by God's grace. I've never said, no. It can never come out of my mouth. Why? Because I decided long ago that there's not going to be a repeat of what I experienced growing up. The highest, maybe I get angry, I just become silent, which is not even good also. Yeah. And why I choose silence is because growing up I observed that when there's no silence, the man says something that he's not supposed to say, and the woman can provoke him to more anger, and it's, before hands start flying, silence is, at least Papa will say, they cannot quote silence. They cannot quote silence, but I have now even learned that silence is not the answer again. Yeah. So if you're angry at me, I will have to look for something else to, maybe I'll go eat your food or lie beside you or tickle you, So that's where we, and my wife wakes you up in the middle of the night if you're angry. If you are vexing with my wife, or you guys have small arguments and you don't solve it well, maybe just brushed over it. I'm sorry. My wife will not sleep. She'll wake you up in the middle of the night, 2 a.m. and thank God for her, because if she would be like someone like me too, we will not talk about that issue. We'll just brush over it.
And it will repeat
itself. But she's a person that she loves communication and she loves to trash things out, and I have to give her that. So,
what advice do you have for singles struggling with finding the right person, the pressure of age, or are waiting for God's timing? What advice do you have for them?
Go ahead.
Okay. I would say, like, the advice I have for singles struggling with God's timing, relationship, and everything. Like I mentioned before, I was 29 when the breakup happened, and there was nobody in view. I did not have anybody, because everybody that has come my way in the past 4 years, I've been telling them I'm engaged. I've already done my introduction. I'm getting married soon. There was no one in view. But the truth is, you just have to know that, see, I will not miss it in marriage. That was one thing I knew, that my mom will always say, "Tobaku dear," I will try and translate in English, that "Tobaku dear ki omolo dodo kobosi koto," like mono ato, like atono, like if it just remain a little for the child of a righteous to fall into a ditch. Fireflies, you know how tiny the light from a firefly is. The fireflies will even become a light for you to see that this is not something you should go into.
There will be signs.
Yeah.
Don't ignore the signs.
So the advice I would give is be patient.
Yeah.
It's better to be single than marry wrong. If anyone that marries wrong, like, it's, I can't imagine, it's going to be hell on earth, because at the end of the day the person will be wishing, like, I really wished I did not enter into this union.
Yeah.
Because this is a lifelong thing we are talking about. You'll be with this person even more than, imagine you got married at 29 or 26 or 25. You'll be with this person more than those days of your life.
You're more married.
Maybe you're more married than single. Maybe
Exactly.
you guys are going to pass on to glory at 90 years old. That's like 40 something 50 something years together. So you are going to literally spend more than the years you've lived on earth with this person. So it's something that you just have to be careful with in choosing. And honestly, it's still just praying to God, because he came 3 months after the breakup, because God helped me to be able to heal on time. Like, I healed on time. And that's another thing. If you are just living a breakup, don't just jump into another relationship to fill that hole, that, oh, there's a void in my life now, I'm no longer in a relationship, I need to be in a relationship with somebody. Like, don't just jump into that. Heal up before this new person comes. If not, whatever it is that happened in an old relationship will repeat itself. It will repeat itself. So when it came 3 months after I had a breakup from a 4-year relationship, I did not feel it, because God helped me to heal on time. In 1 month I was healed, I was living my life. And yes, the thought of God, where will this person come from? I'm 29. Like, I will soon be 30. How will I go about this? But he was always giving me an answer of peace. That the word was always in Isaiah 60 verse 22. It says, when the time is right, I, the Lord, will make it happen. So I held on to that word, that even if I'm 30 and the guy is not here, he's saying when the time is right, he, the Lord, will make it happen. And because I trust him as my God, I trust him that his plan for me is better than whatever it is I might have written down for myself.
Yeah.
So because I trust him, I can hold on to his word, that even if he's not coming, scripture says, he that will come will come.
Yeah.
Don't pressure yourself into now, because there is nobody, then you now just go for anyone. The regret after that, you would be a lot, that you even be like, oh my God, I think I should have just waited for the right person. So there is no need to be pressured. Yes, the society has made it look like when somebody is 30 or they are 30 plus or they are getting close to 30, it's already late for them. There is nothing late with God. With God, God is the masterminder of time. If God is saying he's 30, then he's 30, then it means that he knows that is the beautiful time for you. But don't pressure yourself, or because all your friends, they are in a relationship and me, I'm not in a relationship, that God, am I a spoon? Am I a fork? And sometimes the words we say jokingly also matters. Like, God, am I a this? Am I a that? Understand God's plan for your relationship and for your marital life. And when you have that blueprint, you will know that, see, in this aspect of my life, I cannot miss it. So even if pressures are coming from left, right, center, and everywhere, you are grounded in God. This is what God told me, and I believe him on this. So is really a relationship with God kind of thing. You must really be able to channel the energy and sometimes serve. Like you said, we met while we were serving. We were both in choir, serving diligently. Serve. The way you will meet your spouse, sometimes Ruth met Boaz in the place where she was gleaning to, in the place where she was working. Get your hand busy in the things of God, and God will really bring the right person your way, so that your waiting season will not be a waste at the end of the day. That you waited this long, then you now enter the wrong relationship. That will not be our portion in Jesus' name. So even as we are waiting, let's wait rightly. Are you accessible? Can people speak with you? Like, as a lady, everybody is frowning. You're frowning at everybody. Your Instagram is on private. People cannot access you. So how do you expect the person to come? He's not going to jump into your dream. You must be relatable also. So there are some other things that even you yourself, okay, God, what's happening? Is it through my character? Is it something I'm doing? Is it my dressing? What do I need to improve on? Because after the breakup happened and I was always looking moody, God told me no. He told me count it all joy. That was the word he gave me. Like, count it all joy when you enter into tribulation or anything. So I took it as okay, yeah, this has happened, but I maintained my joy. I was in a joyful season, so it also helped me.
What advice would you give to newly wedded couples and those considering marriage?
Can you hear me?
You are still newly wedded now. What do you mean?
4 years.
All right. Those considering marriage is beautiful. So I was chatting with a friend recently. He's not the kind of guy that would want to get married. Like, he's not someone that I see getting married. Like, he's on serious. He loves to party. He likes his job. He's not always at home. But we're chatting recently, and when he was like, wow, so this is what I've been missing. Like, he was just so happy. Recently, he posted a picture, and I'm like, he posted the meal his wife made, and he was like, wow, so this is what I've been missing. Like, and I was like, this guy is really, has really blessed this guy. Apart from food or physical enjoyment, why did you even marry? Why have you even asked yourself why we are meant to marry? For your life's purpose. We marry because of purpose, and that is the reason why I was able to set aside my own spec. I was able to set aside my own spec for who God brought my way, because I knew that I'm not marrying for pleasure. I'm not even marrying for myself. I'm marrying for God's divine purpose for my life.
Yeah.
One shall chase 1,000, two shall
10,000.
chase 10,000.
Yeah.
If I had married my choice, we'll probably not be on this call by now. But God gave me someone that we can rough it together. Someone that God can say, okay, trust me to do this, and I can tell my wife, hey babe, God is saying we should do this. And out of the blues, she just say, okay, since you believe God, let's go for it. Or God is saying do this. We marry for purpose, and the purpose is in Christ Jesus. And God knows why. So recently I was just thinking about Nathaniel, my son. I was like, this guy is strong, he's energetic, and I was just thanking God in my subconscious. I didn't even say anything. I was like, so God knew. God knows how to mix genetics. He knew that the right genetics from the father plus the mother. Okay, let me bring it together and give these people a strong boy, because the guy is so strong and brilliant, always happy. And I was like, like, I would never have thought of that. I may be thinking, I want a wonderful wife for myself, but God is saying, I also want a wonderful child for you. So beyond choosing your wife, you are choosing a mother for your children. You are even choosing your children. You are choosing how they will talk, whether they will be strong, whether they will be sickly. So God just knows the best for you. God just knows the best. Trust God. Follow Him all the way. Then for those that are newly married, trust God. Enjoy your union. Enjoy your union. Enjoy yourselves. Dream big. Despise not the days of little beginning. Love yourselves. Things will come to challenge your relationship. Things will come to challenge your marriage. But God is with you guys. God is with you. So just trust Him. Walk with Him. Hold on to the word He gave.
So the next section we'll be going into now is the question and answer. Some of our audience will be asking some questions, though.
Okay.
We have some from the anonymous link that was sent to the WhatsApp group.
Okay.
We were able to get some feedbacks. I'm trying to lay my hands on the first question that was asked in the group.
Okay.
I don't care if you're okay. If you're asking to say it now, let's say it now. So the first anonymous question we have, this is coming from a lady. Said my man traveled out of the country last year, and since then communication has been a problem. He stopped calling or texting him because I refused him engaging me before traveling out. I want to know if I should continue to wait for him or I should move on because so many guys are asking me out. Wow. That's the first question.
Okay. So I want to know, are you guys engaged or
I think she said you were engaged before you traveled, right?
Okay, she said she refused him engaging her. Okay. Before the guy traveled out.
I think just send him, since he's not picking, send him an email. Let him reply. Let us know you guys should know the state of your relationship. If there's still one, because you guys said he's not calling you.
He's not relating.
And that's like the bedrock of any relationship, communication. So send him an heartfelt email. Give him a timeline. Don't let him waste your time. Give him 3 weeks. Even though I proposed to my wife, I think I gave her how many weeks? I gave her a month. A month. I give her a month to reply me. After a month, I don't want my hopes to be up more than a month. So send him an email. Give him time. Give him 3 weeks. Let me hear from you. What do you have to say about it?
If I don't hear from you.
And if I don't hear from you, this is what I'm doing. Exactly. So, you're not bound to anybody if you're not married to them. So
this general feel that one man that God has created for you. That ideology is very wrong. God has sons and God has daughters.
And God has daughters, plenty self.
So it's not a thing of if I don't get married to this person, my life is not made. Ask the person. It's a journey. You guys are yoking yourself together. If somebody is not willing to be yoked, it's going to be a stressful thing for you.
Exactly.
So and you are not communicating. So if communication is out of it already, just make it plain to him. Be honest. Okay, yes, you've been there. I don't know what's happening over there, but please, I really want to know the definition of this relationship again. Like, let's really define it again. Is there a ship that we are relating, or we are just deceiving ourselves?
There should be an assurance.
Yeah.
What can I do when I'm not being attracted to my spec for a relationship?
To your spec. Like, you are not being, like, I want to understand the question. You are not being attracted to your spec.
Our spec is not
Exactly.
Who says your spec is God's spec for you? Like, who says the spec you have in mind is God's spec for you? See, social media and culture and the world has tried to shape our mind differently. Like when my husband was saying that we don't just marry for ourselves. You don't just marry to please yourself. So even that saying, I'm not saying you should not have a spec, but if you are not like, oh, what can I now do to attract my spec? Oh, should I go and do BBL, or what should I be doing? Should I be parading myself in front of it? Your spec might not be God's spec for you. Like, just find out, God, what are you saying about this? Is it a mission I should proceed on, or mission aborted, or I should just abort from the get-go? If your spec is not noticing you, maybe it's not time yet. Maybe it's not time for the spec to become the spec. And just understand that, okay, God, what are you saying about this? I think some things that many people do, or many singles do, is that you already have somebody in mind. Then you now take the person to God. God, approve this person for me. Like, God, this is what I want you to do for this person. Approve him for me. While he can work for people in the world, you are not just someone in the world. The Bible says that he that is led by the Spirit of God, they are the sons of God. So you have the Spirit of God in you that can lead you to say, okay, yes, this is the spec you want for yourself, but this is not the spec I have for you, or this is not what I have for you. So trying to even say, I want my spec to notice me, it's define it first. Where is this spec coming from? Where is, like, what am I really attracted to about this person that is making me to even say you are my spec? Because at the end of the day, some people who enter a relationship and you discover that the spec was not actually specking. It was just love at first sight.
Oh my God.
Thank you.
Wisdom.
This question is being directed to you directly, Miss Bukola.
Okay.
This is Bukola, my bad.
Yes,
This
fine.
is will you have married your husband if you were older than he is? That's the question.
Okay. I'm actually older than my
I
husband.
think we've answered that earlier.
I'm 2 years,
22 months.
22 months. Why are you feeling yourself? almost 2 years older than him. So, yes. And you know, that's why I said it's not based on culture or what I want for myself. Is what is God saying about this union? So, back-end story, when he asked me out, I actually felt I would be maybe 5 years or 6 years older than him, because then he was looking very, very young. He had this teenager look. Am I lying? He had this teenager look that I'm like, oh my God, this guy will be like almost five years younger than myself. That God, why is it this person you are bringing my way? So I had to go to God first. That God, are you sure about this? Is this the person that you're asking me to wait for? Is this the he that will come? And when I knew that this is the he that will come, and then that came, we talked about it, and I discovered that I was older than him. I knew that in the grand scheme of God, there is a bigger purpose more than marrying. I want to marry him. I never thought I would marry somebody that I'm older than, honestly. But when God brought him in this package, and his wisdom is wise too.
In this package.
He's wise too. And I just looked at it that, okay, will I like just opposing purpose and age? It's not. So yes, I've married him, and he's older, and I'm older than him.
Please, can you tell us the difference between falling in love with someone and loving someone?
Loving somebody.
It's the fall.
I need you. Okay. I don't know what that means. Falling in love. I think falling in love is just emotional. It's just emotional. You saw somebody and you're like, oh, falling in love. To be honest, when I met my wife, all I had was the word that she's the one. There was no trace of emotions there at all.
If I said yes,
in short, I had to say I love you. There was one day I called her, I said I love you, like just to see if there will be any spark, and funnily, yes, that started it all, but I didn't have any emotional attachment to her prior to the time I asked her out. So I would say I love that.
Yeah, there are some that you would have.
Yes.
That, and there are some that it's because even for me, it was after I gave him a yes that I started developing to love him.
Yeah.
Because it was not something that we knew each other, we were friends, and we've been thinking about this, that I love this person, I love this. It was a thing of, this is who God is bringing my way. So we had to grow in love.
Yeah.
We had to grow ourselves in the love. It was not a thing of I fell in love with him at first sight.
Yeah, and for other people it may not be like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but for us it was not.
Well, the love was not at the get go.
Yeah.
But it kept growing.
Exactly.
All right, thank you, Mom. Thank you, sir. It's been a wonderful moment with you both. Like, this is really an awesome time with you. We appreciate your time. We thank you for making it out to honor our invite.
Thank you for having us.
Personally, for me, I did a lot.